We continue now at the top of Daf Chaf Beis and Beis Meseches Gittin. This is Gittin Daf 22b. On the previous Amud, the Gemara brought the opinion of the Chachamim in the Mishnah that even if a get is written on paper which is easily forged, it is still going to be kosher. And the Gemara explained who is this Chachamim. Rebbe Elazar says it's Rebbe Elazar. The Chachamim is the Tana Rebbe Elazar. The Amar Eidei Mesira Karti, who says Eidei Mesira Karti. And Rashi explains Rebbe Elazar the Amar Chasimas Haget Eina Min HaTorah. Rebbe Elazar holds the signing of the get is not midoraisa. Velosagi lemeisve below Eidem Mesira, and you can't give it without Eidem Mesira. There have to be Eidem that see the giving over of the get. The inuhu the av decreases. They're the ones that make the get effective. The al karchach bin on Eidem the alfin on erva davar mimamun. Rashi says we certainly need some kind of witnesses. We learned that out. Davar mimamun. The question is Eidei Chasimo or is it Eidei Mesira? And therefore, since according to Rebbe Elazar it's Eidei Mesira, we're not concerned with forgery. To Amran because we already said they need to read it so they can verify what was in it. If there was some kind of condition in there, they would know about it. The one who says that the Eidem Mesira are the important part, so the woman who's coming to get married, she needs to bring these Eidem, she needs to bring the Eidem Mesira, and they'll testify, they'll let us know if there's anything wrong with the document. But according to Rabbi Meir, who says that Eidem Mesira are not required, so there's really a concern of forgery. Because in such a situation, if the woman is coming to get remarried, so she just brings the document, we rely on the Eidei Chasima, she doesn't have to bring Eidem Mesira. As long as people recognize the signatures, that's enough. And if there was some condition, and this was forged in some way, in terms of the condition, there would be no one that would know about it, and therefore it has to be that the Chachamim are actually the Tad and Rebbe Elazar. And the Gemara continues, V'amar Rebbe Elazar, and Rebbe Elazar says, that's the Amor Rebbe Elazar. Rebbe Elazar says, Lo hichsher Rebbe Elazar elo li'alter, that the Tana Rebbe Elazar only allows it if it is immediate. She has to bring it to the court right away. Aval mikan asar yamim, but let's say it's 10 days later, let's say there's a delay, so then no, it wouldn't be good if it's paper that can be forged, because chayshin and dil mahava beitanav is zayaftik, because then already we're concerned, maybe there was a condition, and it was later forged, and so then we would have a problem. Rashi says, elo li'alter shaviyasu lebezin biyom shenim sarla. The point is, she needs to bring this document, according to Rebbe Elazar, to Bezdin on the day it was given to her. Lohodia she grusha, to let people know that she's a divorcee, then the Bezdin will allow her to remarry. Since it's all happening right now, and you have Eidem Mesira, we're not afraid that there's going to be any forgery. However, if there's a delay, so then we're afraid maybe there was a condition in there, and then later it was forged. At this point in time, there was already a delay. Maybe the Eidem forgot about the Tanai, and now the Tanai was taken out, so then we have a problem. But the Gemara continues, Rabbi Yochanan says, Afila mikan ad asar yamim, even if there's a 10-day delay, even more than that, if there's a delay from the time she received the get and she brings it into Bezdin, it's still going to be okay according to Rebbe Elazar. Because if it was true that there was some kind of condition in the get, the Eidei Mesira would remember about it. We do not have to be concerned with forgery. And the Gemara continues, V'amar Rebbe Elazar, and Rebbe Elazar says, Lo hichsher Rebbe Elazar ela begittin. Rebbe Elazar only says this is allowed by Gittin. Aval b'shar stars, but by other documents, no, this would not be allowed. You cannot use paper that's easily forged. Because it says regarding other documents, they put it in a clay vessel that it should last for a long time. If it's already supposed to last for a long time, then there is a concern that people will forget, and there's a concern of forgery. Rabbi Yochanan says, Afilu b'shtaris, even by other shtaris, it's okay to rely on the Eidem Mesira. But the Gemara asks, V'aksiv leman yamdu yamim rabim, but doesn't the pasuk say it has to be able to last for many days? So how can we rely exclusively on the Eidem Mesira? And the Gemara says, Haslam over there, it's a tova kamashmalan. There the pasuk is just giving good advice that it should be able to last for a long time, but that is not a requirement. And Rashi explains, Ela begittin, according to Rebbe Elazar the Tana only allows it by Gittin, de'eno nachsuyan el atira, v'yachol lavil lebezin la'alter. The get is made just to make her mutter to marry someone else. She could bring it to the court immediately. V'yatiru, and they'll allow her, v'shovena tzricha leget, she won't need the get anymore. Tekevan chutra bebezin yesh zichron v'kol ledavar. Once Bezin allows her to remarry, so now the word goes out, people will recognize what has happened. Aval b'shtaris, but again, according to the Amor Rebbe Elazar the Tana would say by other shtaris, the kaimi leguvaina, meaning other shtaris, that they are there just for the purpose of collecting a debt. So maybe it's only going to be taken out out with a long delay, a long time later. V'yishkechu edei mesiras hadavar, the edei mesir will forget all of the details. V'samchino na edei chasima, then we're going to rely on the edei chasima. V'umezayiv ksavo elyon v'chosem ha'edem omed b'mekomo. And he'll forge, if you're going to use a paper that can be forged, he'll forge what is written above, and the signature will be in its place, the signatures of the witnesses, and that can pose a problem. Rabbi Yochanan says even by other shtaros it's okay. Yomim rabim, the pasuk says again, Yomim rabim, so that was a machlokas, is it something that actually has to last Yomim rabim, in which case by shar shtaros it would not be good to rely on edei mesira, or is that just eitza tova? Rashi says, Yomim rabim, alma ba'inan davar haroi lamod l'skayim. The point is it has to be something that can last a long time, and again the question among the Amoraim is whether that's a requirement. V'aikra b'yirmiyah b'shtarei mecher. This pasuk is in Sefer Yirmiyah, and it's dealing with documents that have to do with sales. And the Gemara continues with the Mishnah, Hakol ksherin lichtov es haget. Everybody is allowed to write a get, afilu chereshot of a katan, even a deaf mute, or an imbecile, or a minor. Ha'isha kosev es gita, the wife can write her own get. Va'ish kosev es shover, and the man, the husband, can write his shover. That's the receipt that shows that he paid the ksuba. Shein kiyam haget ala bechosmav, because the certification of the get is really only with the signatures. Who writes it does not make a difference. Rashi says, Va'afilu chereshot of a katan begemar mefarshla. The Gemara will explain this. Kosev es gita, the wife writes her get, umaknasul about, like we said earlier, she has to then give it over fully to the husband. V'chozer mosr la legershon, then he goes and gives it back to her for the purpose of the divorce. And shovra by the receipt, it's the other way around. Shover piron ksuba, that's the shover, the receipt that shows that the husband paid the ksuba. Sha'isha hayal lakosva, really the wife should have written it. Well, the mosr lo and give it to him, lios lo larayat, to be a proof. But the point of the Mishnah is he's allowed to write it, he gives it to her, and then she gives it back to him. And the Gemara says, "V'halav b'nei dayaninu," but the chereshot of katan, they don't have das, they don't have knowledge. Rashi says, "V'halav b'nei dayaninu v'lo yadu lichtov l'shma." They don't know to write the get l'shma. So how can the Mishnah say that they're able to write a get? Amar Rav Huna says, and we will continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Chav Gimel Amar Aleph.